DK Super Readers Level 4. Shark Attack. Reading is my superpower. Shark Attack by Kathy East Dubowski. Contents: Shark Attack, page 6. Shark Attacks, the Facts, page 16. Sharks and Safety, page 24. Sharks Up Close, page 30. Sharks Under Attack, page 38. Glossary, page 46. Index, page 47. Quiz, page 48. Shark Attack. Rodney Fox was running out of time. He needed to find a big fish, and he needed to find it soon. The young Australian was competing in an annual spearfishing championship. To win, he had to find and spear a big local fish. Like all the other competitors, Rodney wore a long line attached to his diving belt to hold the fish he had caught. Rodney and the other divers had been diving for several hours. They had caught a lot of fish, and the water smelled of blood. As Rodney was aiming his spear gun at another fish, crash! Something slammed hard into Rodney's side. He felt as if he had been hit by an express train. Surf's up. Australia is a continent with more than 16,000 miles, 25,750 kilometers of coastline. Great Barrier Reef. The Great Barrier Reef, the world's largest coral reef, runs along Australia's northeastern coast. It's home to about 1,500 species of fish, including sharks. Super sniffers. Sharks have an excellent sense of smell. They can detect the scent of injured fish and can sometimes smell blood a quarter mile, 0.4 kilometers away. In motion. Sharks swing their heads from side to side as they pick up scents in the water. This movement allows them to take in a wider scope of scents as they swim. It was a great white shark. The force of the impact knocked the mask off Rodney's face and the spear gun from his hand. His left shoulder disappeared down the creature's throat. Then the shark bit down on Rodney's chest and back. Rodney struggled to get free. He hit the shark with his fist, but the shark held tight and shook him from side to side. Then Rodney remembered the weakest spot on a shark's body, its eyes. With all his strength, he rammed his right fist straight into the shark's eye. Incredibly, the shark let go. Shark's eyes. To protect its eyes from an attack, a great white shark can roll them back into its head. Some sharks have a special membrane that covers the eyeball like a window blind. Rodney reached the water's surface and gasped for air. He'd made it! But then he looked down. The shark was racing straight for him. Its huge jaws, lined with razor-sharp teeth, were wide open. Snap! The shark's jaws slammed shut again. But this time the shark swallowed the fish attached to Rodney's diving belt. Suddenly, Rodney felt himself being pulled through the water. He was still attached to the line. The shark began to drag him down into deep water. He struggled to undo his diving belt, but the buckle had slipped round his neck. He couldn't reach it. Time was running out. Even if the shark didn't eat him, Rodney would drown. Sizable shark. A great white shark can grow up to 20 feet, 6 meters, long, and weigh as much as 2.5 tons, 2.3 tons. Suddenly, the line snapped. Rodney was free. He struggled to the surface and shouted for help. Luckily, friends in a nearby boat had seen Rodney in distress and quickly pulled him out of the water. Rodney was seriously hurt. His ribcage, lungs, and the upper part of his stomach lay open from the huge gash where the shark had sunk its teeth in. The bite had crushed his ribs and punctured one of his lungs. Rodney was rushed to the nearest hospital. 4 hours of surgery and 462 stitches saved his life. But he would wear the scar of the shark's bite forever. The attack on Rodney was big news. The public, frightened of more attacks, demanded action to clear the local beaches of sharks. But Rodney thought differently. Great white shark. Rodney Fox is one of the few people to have survived the bite of a great white shark. Under attack. The great white shark has been credited with more attacks on humans than any other species of shark. Deadly teeth. A great white shark has several rows of sharp, jagged, triangular teeth. It can have up to 300 teeth. Rodney didn't want to kill sharks. He wanted to go out and learn more about the mysterious creature that had nearly killed him. And he began a lifelong search to discover more about these silent hunters of the deep. Only a few months after the attack, Rodney was diving again. In order to get close to sharks, Rodney designed and built the first shark cage. A shark cage is about the size of a small elevator. It is made of very strong metal bars, which are placed close enough together to keep a shark from biting the divers inside, but still allow the divers a good view of the shark. Floating devices at the top of the cage keep it from sinking. Today, many people use shark cages. They allow divers and scientists to study and photograph sharks up close, but not quite as close as Rodney once came. Rodney is a motivational speaker at conservation and diving events. Diving with sharks. Cage diving boats use chum, an oily mixture of cut-up fish, to attract great whites close to the cage. Chum is not food but a scent that sharks can pick up on in the water. Cage divers are not allowed to feed sharks. It's not safe for the divers or the sharks. Shark attacks, the facts. If you're terrified of sharks, you're not alone. Shark attacks make frightening headlines, and movies like Jaws spread the fear that sharks are bloodthirsty killers. In fact, just the thought of sharks is enough to scare many people. But the truth is that shark attacks are actually very rare. A person is far more likely to be hit by a car or struck by lightning than to be attacked by a shark. There are more than 500 different species or types of sharks. Only about 30 of these species have ever been known to attack humans. But 3 are considered dangerous: the great white shark, the bull shark, and the tiger shark. A tiger shark is large and powerful enough to attack most sea creatures. The great white shark is the most feared of all sharks. Bull sharks are named for their fierceness and their tendency to headbutt prey before attacking. A fierce fish. Bull sharks are one of the few sharks that can live in both fresh water and salt water. They swim in all of Earth's oceans. They cruise in shallow, warm waters near the coast, which is where people like to swim too. They will also swim far from the ocean into rivers, smaller waterways, and even inland lakes. False fears. Popular movies and stories have helped spread false fears about sharks. Whether or not you're in danger of a shark attack depends on where you live. Sharks are found almost everywhere, but they seem to prefer warm water. Most shark attacks happen in Australia, Brazil, and South Africa, as well as California, Florida, and Hawaii, USA. They often occur near crowded beaches, where people go to swim, sail, and surf. Worldwide, sharks attack fewer than 100 people on average per year. Modern transport methods and improved medical care keep the risk of death very low. Even then, sharks don't usually set out to attack people. Often, they ignore people in the water. So what makes a shark attack a human? This symbol shows the location of fatal shark attacks since records began. A low risk. Lightning strikes and bee stings are deadlier to humans than sharks are. A wide range. Great white sharks swim in most of Earth's oceans, except for the icy cold waters near the North and South Poles. Room for more. When one shark tooth falls out, another takes its place. A great white can go through more than 20,000 teeth in its lifetime. Some people believe that sharks attack when they feel threatened. A diver may unknowingly swim into a shark's territory. In this case, a shark may only bite a human once. It will then release, rather than eat, the invader. Perhaps this is what happened to diver Henry Bourse. A single bite from a large shark resulted in his losing a leg. Divers are sometimes attacked while carrying fish they have caught. The blood and frantic movements of the dying fish attract sharks, which can smell blood from a great distance. Sometimes a shark attack could be a case of mistaken identity. From a shark's point of view, a surfer on a surfboard looks like its favorite food, a seal. Once the shark tastes the board, it will spit it out and go away. Many surfers are still alive to tell the tale, with a munched surfboard to prove it. Henry Bourse. This is a shark's view of a seal and a surfer from below. A shark's bite. A 13-foot, 4-meter tiger shark bit this surfer's board in Hawaii, USA. Taste test. Sharks have pressure-sensitive nerves under their teeth. Sometimes they take a bite to figure out what things are, to see if they will be tasty. An attack may happen because a shark is hungry. Experts think that Raymond Short was attacked by a hungry shark while swimming in the water off a crowded Australian beach. Raymond was swimming near the shore when he was bitten by a shark. 6 lifeguards immediately dashed into the sea to save him. But as they started to carry Raymond toward the shore, the lifeguards realized that the shark was still attached to Raymond's leg. Raymond had to be pulled onto the beach before the shark let go of his leg. The shark had a long wound along its stomach. It had been badly injured. Scientists think that the shark had been unable to catch its normal food and was so hungry that it took unusual risks. Sensitive mouth. A shark's mouth is covered in tiny taste buds. Curious creatures. Sharks have been known to bump boats in the water with their snouts. They are likely trying to learn more about the boat. Sharks and safety. People have tried many ways to protect themselves from shark attacks as they explore the shark's watery world. One method of protecting swimmers is to build a fence or shark net in the water. These shark nets are used off the shores of many popular Australian and South African beaches. Electrical beach barriers are also used, as sharks won't swim through strong electric currents. These barriers don't hurt sharks. They just make them turn away. If you visit a shark zone, don't swim if you have a bleeding cut. Sharks can smell blood more than a mile, 1.6 kilometers away. Don't swim at dusk, as this is when sharks are likely to be feeding. Don't urinate in the sea. Sharks are attracted to the smell. Never swim alone. Get out of the water if a shark is sighted. Shark nets are set up off the shores of popular beaches. Nets stop sharks from swimming into an area. Shark safety. Small electrical barriers can be strapped to a person's ankle or surfboard. They work like larger beach barriers. Pepper power. Ancient Aztec people tried to keep sharks away by hanging spicy chili peppers from their canoes. Trapped. A big problem with shark nets is that they trap all types of sharks, as well as other animals like dolphins, sea turtles, and whales. Sometimes these creatures die when they can't untangle themselves from the nets. Many people have tried to invent a chemical shark repellent. During World War II, the United States Navy issued a repellent made of chemicals and dye, called Shark Chaser. It released black ink to hide pilots who might crash land in the sea. It was also meant to repel sharks, but it didn't work, as it dissolved too quickly. Divers who study and film underwater life often come face to face with sharks. Valerie and Ron Taylor, who were Australian filmmakers, developed a way for people to safely swim among sharks. On one diving trip, the Taylors noticed a crew member wearing some stainless steel mesh gloves to protect his hands while cleaning fish. This gave them an idea. Why not make a whole diving suit out of chainmail to protect divers from sharks, like the chainmail suits worn by knights? They made a suit out of 400,000 tiny stainless steel rings. But to test the suit, someone had to wear it in the water. Someone had to make the sharks bite. Fashion forward. Experts say that one way to reduce the chance of catching a shark's attention is to avoid wearing bright-coloured swimwear. Sharks can see contrasts in colour well, so a shiny red suit might catch their eye. Jewellery is best left at home too. It can reflect light in the water, which can look a lot like light reflecting off the scales of fish, the prey of most sharks. Body armour. Chainmail was body armour that knights wore in the Middle Ages between the 5th and 16th centuries. A mesh-like fabric, it was flexible and protected them against jabs from swords and arrows. The tailors carried out a test dive off the coast of California, USA. Raw chunks of fish were dumped into the water to attract sharks. Valerie zipped up the chainmail suit over her normal diving suit, and then dived into the water among the raw chunks of fish. Soon several sharks darted in. Valerie waved a bleeding fish close to her body, baiting the sharks to bite. Suddenly, a shark chomped down on Valerie's arm. She was startled but not hurt. The shark bit her again and again all over her body. It was frightening, but the shark's teeth couldn't get through the mesh. The suit had worked. But there had been some anxious moments. One shark had pulled off one of Valerie's gloves and bitten her thumb. Luckily, Valerie had managed to escape. The suit needed small improvements, but thanks to Valerie's bravery, the first practical shark suit had been invented. This diver is protected from a shark attack by a chainmail suit. Valerie in her chainmail suit. Teeth types. Different sharks have different kinds of teeth. Some have sharp, curved teeth to snatch moving prey. Others have flat teeth for crushing hard-shelled animals like clams. Saving their skins. Small rings on a chainmail suit stop a shark's teeth from biting through skin. But the diver will still be bruised. Sharks up close. Sharks have roamed Earth's oceans for nearly 400 million years, and they are much older than the earliest dinosaurs. But today's sharks are very similar to sharks that lived long ago. The biggest of these ancient sharks was called Megalodon. This fearsome predator had jaws that were over 6 feet, 1.8 meters, wide. It weighed as much as 10,000 pounds, 4,535 kilograms, and grew to a massive 54 feet, 16 meters. That's almost 3 times as long as today's great white shark. After the dinosaurs died out, sharks ruled Earth's oceans. They became the main predator, eating whales, dolphins, and giant squid. This massive menu of sea life led to sharks growing to such mega sizes. Great white shark. Jaws of the great white shark. Jaws of the megalodon. Fearsome fossils. Some early sharks left fossilized imprints when they fell to the bottom of the sea and were covered in sand. Often, the hard parts like teeth were also fossilized. Megateeth. Each of Megalodon's teeth was about as long as a banana. Sizing it up. An extinct shark's teeth can help scientists estimate the animal's size. Teeth time. It takes about 10,000 years for shark teeth to be considered a fossil. The shark has perfectly evolved for surviving and hunting underwater. Its amazingly flexible skeleton is made of cartilage, the same material that forms our noses and ears. A shark has the same 5 senses as a human: sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. But the shark's ability to catch prey in murky waters is due to 2 extra and very unusual senses. Running down each side of a shark's body is a lateral line. This is a line of pressure-sensitive points under the skin, which help the shark sense small vibrations in the water. On the head of a shark are tiny pores called the ampullae of Lorenzini. They allow a shark to sense the faint electrical charges given off by all living things. The dorsal fin helps balance and steering. Pectoral fins act as brakes. The caudal fin keeps the shark from rolling over. Gills take oxygen from the water. Sharks can see up to 50 feet, 15 meters away. Sharks can hear up to 1,000 feet, 305 meters away. Ampullae of Lorenzini. Shark skin. A shark's skin is covered with tiny tooth-like scales called denticles. Before sandpaper, shark skin was used to smooth down wood. Sharks are solitary animals. They live, swim, and hunt alone. Scientists know very little about their life cycle. What is known, however, is that sharks are very slow to reproduce. Some sharks take 11 years before they are ready to mate. And when sharks do give birth, they often have few babies. So, sharks take extra care to protect their eggs. Many lay their eggs in tough protective egg cases. Others give birth to live babies. To help them survive, these pups are already quite big when they are born. Sharks eat most kinds of food, but all sharks eat meat. Many eat small fish and animals like lobsters and jellyfish, although tin cans and plastic bags have also been found in a shark's stomach. Some larger sharks hunt bigger animals, such as seals, penguins, and even other sharks. Egg cases, shark pups, basking shark, jellyfish, seals species-specific. Shark eggs come in all shapes and sizes. Horn sharks lay spiral-shaped eggs on their own. Pups can swim and search for food as soon as they enter the world. Welcome, baby. A newborn shark is called a pup. Gentle giants. The basking shark has a massive mouth, but its teeth are tiny. These huge sharks have comb-like bristles in their mouths that filter food. Basking sharks swim with their mouths wide open to catch plankton, which are tiny plants and animals. Do you think you know what a shark looks like? Maybe you should think again. When most people think of sharks, they imagine the classic shape of the great white shark. But sharks come in all sizes and some extremely unusual shapes. The biggest shark is the whale shark. It can grow up to 40 feet, 12.2 meters, long, and weigh as much as 13 tons, 13.2 tons, making it the largest fish in the world. The world's smallest shark is the lantern shark. It grows no larger than 8 inches, 20 centimeters. It is known as the lantern shark because its eyes glow in the dark. Angel shark, hammerhead shark, lantern sharks, horn shark, wobbegong shark, whale shark, sneak attack. Angel and wobbegong sharks have flat bodies that allow them to stay hidden on the ocean floor. They bury themselves in the sand and wait for fish and other prey to float their way. awesome eyes. With an eye on each end of its long rectangular head, a hammerhead shark can see much of what's behind it. Colourful catch. Horn sharks eat red sea urchins, which stain the shark's teeth a reddish-brown. Sharks under attack. For centuries, people have feared sharks. But today, sharks have much more to fear from people. Overfishing is threatening many species with extinction. Sharks have been hunted for many years. Their flesh and teeth were used for weapons, food, and even jewelry. But the numbers caught posed no threat to the shark population. Today, modern fishing methods mean that sharks are killed in huge numbers, up to 100 million sharks each year. As a result, the population of some sharks may have dropped by as much as 80% in the last 10 years. Often the sharks are killed by accident because they get trapped in fishing nets. The fishermen keep the fish they want and throw the unwanted sharks back into the ocean, dead. Much shark killing is just for sport. People who hunt and kill a shark may seem brave, but they are never in any danger. The jaws make flashy trophies that tourists buy for lots of money. Shark's tooth necklace. Captured shark. This shark hunter hangs his victim's jaws around his boat. Longline fishing. A practice called longline fishing uses thousands of baited hooks to catch fish. When sharks take a bite of the bait, they get caught on the line too. Caught up. Bycatch or unwanted catch are fish or other sea animals that get caught in commercial nets and are thrown back in the water. They are often injured or die. Sharks are also under attack because, in many parts of the world, people eat shark meat. In Asia, shark fin soup is an expensive treat. Fishermen can earn so much money from shark fins that some, in a practice called shark finning, will catch a shark, hack off its fins and throw the animal back in the water. In some countries, shark cartilage is made into health pills. Some people believe that the pills will cure almost anything, from heart disease to cancer. Nearly all of these claims are false. Shark skin is also tanned and made into very expensive leather belts and wallets. One of the most valuable shark products is its liver. The oil taken from a shark's liver is used in many products, from pet food and fertilizer to lipstick and sunscreen, even though natural plant oils could be used instead. Fins from any type of shark are used to make shark fin soup. Shark finning. Sharks can't swim without their fins. They will sink to the bottom of the ocean and won't survive. Deadly dollars. Shark finning is illegal in many countries, but the desire for fins on the menu keeps the practice from disappearing entirely. Look at the label. Shark meat can be sold under other names, including rock salmon, dogfish, or flake. If we don't control the mass killing of sharks, they may become extinct. But why would this matter? Scientists have discovered many amazing things about sharks, and we have a great deal to learn from this ancient creature. Sharks may even save our lives one day. For instance, researchers have found that squalene, a chemical made in the liver and stomach of the dogfish shark, slows down the growth of tumours in humans. And shark cartilage is now used to make artificial skin for burn patients. Sharks also have highly developed immune systems, which means they don't often get sick. Their cuts and wounds heal very quickly. And they rarely get cancer like other animals, even when scientists inject cancer cells into sharks' bodies in laboratory tests. Why? Scientists don't know yet, but studying sharks may help doctors cure people who are sick. Doctors use artificial skin grown from shark cartilage. This great white shark has been cut by struggling prey, but the wounds will soon heal. On the surface, a shark's sandpaper-like skin keeps algae from sticking to it. Scientists have created a coating that mimics a shark's skin. It can be used in hospitals to prevent germs from attaching to surfaces. Imbalance. Sharks are important because they keep their ecosystem, the plants and animals that live in the ocean, healthy and in balance. Ready, set, go. A shark's skin also allows them to move smoothly through the water. Scientists have designed shark skin-like swimsuits for swimmers. The more we learn about sharks, the more we will learn to admire and respect them. Of course, most people don't want to come face to face with a great white shark in the ocean, like Rodney Fox did. But we can visit sharks in aquariums and watch fascinating films made by underwater filmmakers. We can even take trips to see sharks in the sea. Sharks are fascinating, intelligent and graceful creatures. Only a few kinds of sharks are dangerous. Attacks on people are really very rare. The shark's reputation as a bloodthirsty killer is not accurate or fair. Sharks have had a home on our planet far longer than we have. It would be a tragedy if people made them disappear from our seas forever. Aquariums are safe places to go to see a shark. Safe at sea. A marine sanctuary is a large area of ocean that protects sea life. Palau, an island nation in the Pacific Ocean, created the first shark sanctuary in 2009. Fishing is not allowed. Survivors. An asteroid wiped out about 3/4 of life on Earth, including the dinosaurs, but some sharks still survived. How? Over millions of years, these creatures have been able to adapt well to changes in their diet and their ocean home. Glossary. Ampullae of Lorenzini. Ampullae of Lorenzini. Tiny pores on a shark's head that can detect faint electrical signals in the water. Aquarium. A large tank where sea animals are kept so people can view them safely. Cartilage. A tough, flexible material from which a shark's skeleton is made. Human noses and ears are also made of cartilage. Chainmail suit. A diving suit made up of thousands of tiny, interlocking stainless steel rings. It protects divers from shark bites. Denticles. The tiny tooth-like scales that cover a shark's skin. Extinction. When a particular animal or plant dies out completely. Fossils. The remains of plants and animals that lived millions of years ago. Fossils are often found in rocks. Lateral line. A line of points along each side of a shark's body. that helps the animal sense vibrations in the water. Megalodon, Megalodon. The largest shark that ever lived in the sea. It died out over 10 million years ago. Plankton. Tiny animals and plants that live in the sea. Shark cage. A small metal cage that protects divers. Shark chaser. A mix of chemicals and dye shaped into a cake. It was meant to protect people from sharks. Shark net. A net that is hung under the water to stop sharks from getting close to swimmers off the shore of a beach. Spearfishing. Fishing underwater with a spear gun. Squalene. A valuable chemical found in a shark's liver. Humans use it for a number of medical reasons. Index. Quiz. Rodney Fox remembered that the weakest spot on a shark's body is where? Its eyes. Which 3 types of sharks are considered most dangerous? Great white shark, bull shark, and tiger shark. True or false? Sharks usually ignore people in the water. True. What did Valerie and Ron Taylor invent? A shark suit? True or false? Sharks are older than dinosaurs. True. What is a shark's skeleton made of? Cartilage. What is the world's biggest shark? The smallest? Whale shark / lantern shark. What human activity is causing some sharks to be threatened with extinction? Overfishing.